One day after nearly 2 dozen Vermont schools received phony threats, the investigation continues. And while nobody was hurt physically, we know there is a mental toll. Many students, teachers, and parents call this a very scary situation, and some are still feeling those emotions tonight. ABC 22's Matt Holderman spoke with a psychiatrist and former paraeducator about the effects that these threats can have, even if they turn out not to be real, Matt.
Yeah, well, that's right, Lauren. Now, we can use the words fake and hoax to describe these threats, but make no mistake, people were still hurt by them in many different ways. That's the message some psychiatrists are asking people to keep in mind, and they say it's important to check up on the mental health of anybody who had to deal with this yesterday.
We believe this is a hoax call, as other high schools in the state are receiving similar reports.
That was part of the message sent to hundreds of parents in Vermont Wednesday morning as more than 20 schools statewide went into lockdown over possible threats of gun violence.
You feel a lump in your throat as a parent.
Dr. Jeremiah Dickerson, a psychiatrist with the University of Vermont Medical Center, was one of the many parents who got that message. Along with thinking of his kids in Colchester, he thought about the potential long-term effects the threats could have on people in our communities.
I think we have to acknowledge that the threats can be really psychologically distressing, both for students, but also for the faculty and staff in the schools as well. And
Dickerson says stressful situations like school threats and lockdowns can leave lasting impressions on children and teachers, impacting emotional, behavioral, and even physical health.
folks who experience like longitudinal stress, it can affect them physiologically, it can affect their emotional behavioral health, it can affect their physical health in a lot of different ways.
People with experience working in schools agree that the threats can have lasting impacts, and some say it's a growing problem.
Back when I worked at school, even when we had to practice drills, it scared the kids half to death. And I can't imagine, these kids thinking it was a real situation.
Dickerson says with such a widespread threat going out Wednesday, parents should keep an eye on their children's health, especially if you know your child was bothered by the situation.
It's important to take an individualized approach to that and to really pay attention that if anything happens at school, that parents are mindful of like any behavioral changes, any changes in sleep or appetite, if their child is more withdrawn.
And Dickerson adds that another important thing for parents to do is to reassure their children that schools are safe places a lot of the time and that teachers and faculty members are there to protect them. Now, although school threats have become more common over the years, Dickerson says this reassurance can be important in cutting back on anxiety in children who may experience it. Reporting live in the newsroom tonight, Matt Holderman, ABC 22 News.